Hello everyone, and a very happy Easter Monday to you all. Well, at least it is Easter Monday at the time of filming this, Easter Monday 2024, and unusually you'll be seeing this video on the day I film and upload it, which doesn't happen often. Normally you see videos I've made weeks ago or sometimes even years ago, but yes, because I needed to unbox this gift and this gift from the Easter Bunny. Yes, the Easter Bunny paid me a visit this morning and left me this lovely chocolate bunny to munch on, Patch the Bunny, so that's fantastic. But also, the Easter Bunny has left me this black package. And he said, I think you'll like this, you haven't got one. I wonder what it could be. Well, I'm assuming it's some sort of a vacuum cleaner. Possibly, is it Hoover Constellation? That sort of shape, I don't know what it is. So let's get this open and find out. Well, if it's something I haven't got, it can't be a Hoover Constellation because I've got quite a few of those. So what could it be? Right. Well, let's see, right, the reveal will happen any moment now. Let's hope whatever this is, it's not damaged and it works. Oh, more packaging. Oh, well, whatever this is, folks, it don't half pong. This is going to need a bath. What is it? It's basil! Yes, folks, this is a rather scuffed up, but should be able to be cleaned and polished, Numatic Basil machine. There's no tools, unfortunately, but I do have a complete toolkit I can add to this basil. But what's different about this basil, he does have a carry handle, but look! What's missing from Basil's top? There's no cord rewind on this Basil because there isn't one. We just have a loose cord. Oh, and I don't know. Oh yes, I can date it. He's quite an oldish Basil, I think. But yeah, let me just give Basil a bit of a whiff here at his exhaust vent. Yeah, he's a bit pongy. He's a single speed Basil, because we have the switch here. That's a bit stiff. A bit of contact cleaner might ease that up. But if that switch is faulty, you can still buy switches to fit. But yes, just a single speed Basil. Basil also has a power takeoff socket for the optional motorized head. Here's the rating sticker. Let's have a closer look. Numatic International, Chard, Somerset, England. This is model NB200, 230 volts, 50 to 60 hertz, 1100 watt max, 850 watt IEC, input with electric nozzle, 950 watts, total IEC. And we've got serial number here, 954700524. I think then this makes this Basil from 1995, I believe that's correct. I'm just going to give Basil a quick wipe. I'm sure we can make him look a lot better. But this Basil is going to be stripped down, judging by the smell of him. The filter might get replaced. We haven't looked at the filter yet. At least his wording, there's a little mark there, but I think that should come off. But his name is quite good on this one. It's not worn off anywhere, not scratched up. So that's a good thing to see. It is rather unusual to see this type of pneumatic that doesn't have the cord rewind. In fact, I found out recently, folks, and I've done a few videos of the toy Henry and Hetty machines on my channel. They used to have a pretend mains cord with a rubber suction plug, and you could wind the pretend cord back in. Well, I understand the latest versions of those, they've done away with that. A few people in the reviews aren't very happy, so I might get one of the later ones and have a look. It's a shame they've done away with the old pretend plug. But this, as far as I can see, correct me if I'm wrong, this looks all original. Obviously with no tools, and I think this Basil would have had the aluminium lighter ones. I mean, there were some earlier versions that had colour coordinated ones. I think Basil, I'm not sure if Basil was available in other colours but blue, but I have seen pictures of a Basil with blue wands. But I do have a complete toolkit I can use with Basil, and that's a good thing if you do find an older Henry or other pneumatic machine that needs new tools. The modern toolkits that you can buy now will fit older models. So as I say, I think this is from 1995, so a toolkit you can buy now, either it's a genuine one from myhenry.com or you get one of the cheaper ones from eBay or Amazon, they should fit. Just giving the cord a bit of a wipe. Yeah, I can see there's the diffuser on the back. Possibly replace that with something. I'll get something cut to fit, unless I can get the original. You can still buy a lot of parts. What's that? I think it could be missing. And there's a space here as well. I'm not sure if it's missing the hook, either to hang the cable on or to put an attachment on. There's also the same, this side here, a little area where I think something goes into that. So I'll look into that at some point. But I think Basil isn't too bad. Don't know what his motor will sound like, but you know, if his motor is gone, I can easily get a new motor. He's just got a stuck-on face rather than the clip-on face we get now. Yeah, that needs a proper... You need a proper bath, Basil, don't you? You don't look too bad, but you will benefit from a thorough wash. Those wheels look original. Not too bad at all. And obviously, being an old boy, Basil doesn't have any tool storage at the back. Everything seems original with this machine, as far as I can tell. How old are you, Basil? 95, 2000, well, you're about 19, 18 or 19 years old, so you're not that old. So yes, Basil looks a little bit better, doesn't he? I'll give him a quick polish when he's dry. So let's open him up and have a look underneath. Ooh, Basil, ooh, you are dirty. I think it said, the Easter Bunny told me he had a new bag fitted, but we'll see. So yeah, here's the underside of Basil. His motor looks a little bit rusty. I don't know if we can quite see, but there's rust on his motor. Not much. Oh, I think Basil, you're not going to sound too smooth because I can see. Let me just have a closer look. There's all sorts of gunk wrapped around his veins. So perhaps Basil's been used without a bag at some point, or something's happened. I don't think Basil's going to sound very good. I think whoever's had Basil before me might try to give him a wipe over. But yes, I'm going to be taking Basil apart. We'll see what he sounds like first, but there's definitely, yeah, that motor's all gunked up. And you can buy replacement motors pretty cheaply. I'd want to get the higher wattage motor, of course, not one of the newer lower wattage ones. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it looks like a modern filter that you can buy today. Do not wash, it says on it. I do have, oh look, it's a bit, hang on. I think Basil's going to need some money spent on him to get him back to full glory. Ah, what's this? Piece of paper. Oh yes, the Easter Bunny has given me an invoice. So Basil cost the Easter Bunny £58 with postage of £4.80. So, and we've also got, we do have a new bag. Ooh, look at that. Well, I will use this bag at the just to switch him on, but I will of course be using HEPA bags. You know, he's not bad, he's not filthy, I've seen worse. So we'll just pop this bag in. Oh, we've got a date wheel inside here, pointing to 02. Ah. Does that mean 2000? It's 8. The arrow's pointing to 8 and 02. Now is 8 the month? 8 is the month and 02 I'm sure. So this bucket could be from 2002. And yet, I think the top was from 1995. So, possibly not the original bucket, maybe. But at least Basil's writing is blue, so it looks right. These are pretty bad, these bags, I must say. Just use genuine bags, folks. If you have a Henry or Hetty or James or Charles or George, whatever, use the original bags because they are much better. They don't cost a lot. They're better than these paper ones, I can tell you. That's quite a tight fit. So, yeah, I have a feeling you're going to smell, Basil. So we'll put your top on. There we are. Right, we'll switch you on. So we'll turn you on here and we'll plug you in and hope for the best. But I have a feeling, judging by all the gunk I could see on the vanes of your motor, Basil, I don't think you're going to sound very good. I'm not sure if the camera picked that up, but Basil did a huge cloud of dust and he does smell, and that motor doesn't sound quite right. It's not too noisy, but yeah, you don't sound too clever, Basil, do you? Let's try you again. I think most of the dust should have stopped coming out of you by now. Oh, it's that noise at the end, isn't it? Yeah. I spent ages cleaning this living room yesterday, Basil, and you've put, oh, he's all dusty now at the top as well. Yeah, you're going to have to, shall we take his motor off? I've never done that, have I, folks? We'll have a look. We'll have a quick look at him inside. In fact, do you remember my Numatic Wendy? I think she needs a new motor. I was playing with her recently and thought, ooh, she sounds dodgy. Let me just polish up Basil's hat for you with this, just to see what we can achieve. Obviously, he's going to need a proper refurb, this one. In fact, I don't think that polish is good, but I think Basil's going to need a T-cutting, aren't you, Baz? But, oh, I can see the shine. Polish your helmet there, or your hat, or whatever they call it. It's supposed to be a bowler hat, you know. I think that's what the original Henry was based on. It was designed to look like a bowler hat. So, yes, just a quick, I mean, he looks better. But, yeah, I think the T-cut is needed. Right, well, let's see how we get into Basil. Let me first unplug you, Baz, because we don't want to... well, actually, before I do that, I will just get my suction gauge out and a hose, and we'll test his suction. So this is a hose from a brand new toolkit. So, yes, you are compatible. Basil measured around 70 on the gauge, so he's less suction power than one of my modern Henrys, and he's still giving out a lot of muck. Every time I switch him on, more dust comes out of Basil. So I think for the very first time on my channel, let's open up a pneumatic and have a look at the motor. I think to remove Basil's top, I've got to undo the screws underneath, but I'm just going to undo this screw for now, which I'm assuming is the screw you'd undo if you needed to replace Basil's mains cable. Is that going to just come off? Right, I don't want to force anything. Those push in. Perhaps that's what we have to do. There we go. Oh, right. Oh dear me. What? Something's... Should Basil have 2 layers of filter? Or is that... Oh. No, is it filter or is it muck? That's never... No, that's filter. Phew, Basil. No wonder. No wonder Basil's making such a noise. Look at that, folks. Honestly, so I think whoever sold this to the Easter Bunny just gave it a wipe over and thought that's fine. But clearly, Basil is not fine, is he? Now he does have some more, and there's a bit of rust on there as well. So yes, that just accesses this. Then there's 2 more screws, which will, I assume, access the contacts and the connections we need if we want to replace Basil's mains cable, but we don't want to do that at the moment. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 by the looks of it. Phillips. Right, I might have to change my screwdriver for this one. Right, I think this one, yes, this is the one. Apart from it being Easter Monday in the UK, it's also April Fool's Day, but don't worry, this is not an April Fool's joke. I don't do that. I'm not a fan. Numatic themselves did an April Fool's joke, and here is their April Fool's joke. Yes, there's now a Henry with ears, and someone commented that's something else for Henry to get caught on. A lot of people complain about Henry getting caught on door frames and things. Well, with those sticky out ears, he'll get caught even more. Anyway, Numatic missed the trick there. They shouldn't have put ears on the Henry, big ears on the Henry, should they? They should have put big ears on a Numatic Charles, just like our King Charles. That would have been funnier. But no, that was Numatic, or my Henry's April Fool's joke. I haven't seen any others so far from other vacuum manufacturers, but yeah, I'm not a fan of April Fool's jokes, folks. So you won't see any of that on my channel. Right, I've undone all the screws. I think I'll flip him over and I should be able to remove Basil's motor cover. Unless there are other screws to undo. I might have to undo those as well. He's not yielding, are you? I think possibly these have to come off as well. And maybe a further screw underneath this cover. I'm assuming it's a cover. Yep. Oh, poor. He's absolutely filthy. Put those screws with that so I know where they are. And then these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? I've only undone 4 screws. Where's that 5th one come from? Oh, it's from this, isn't it? But which is which? One's smaller. So they're the 4 screws. So that goes with that. So they're for the motor cover. So yes, you can see under the dust. If we needed to put a new mains cable on Basil, this is how we'd access it. There's a suppressor, one of the more modern ones. It looks okay. I've recently fitted a pneumatic suppressor to that Philips. Do you remember that Philips P99? I actually did some soldering and got rid of the blown one and fitted one of these modern ones. I haven't had the courage to turn it on yet, so that will follow. I'm going to take it outside. Right, so here we have Basil's hat. That seems to be stuck on, so I won't try and take that out. So I'll get all the dust in there. And here, well, it is a genuine pneumatic motor. It's not been replaced. I'll just give this a quick vac over. Right, let's release these screws, assuming this will release the motor. I want to get a genuine motor, but whether it's worth it, I'm not sure. You can get replacement motors for Henrys and similar very cheaply these days. But I'd certainly, right, that I thought this was a separate piece. Right, don't get these screws mixed up. Let's just wipe some of this dust off because I feel dirty, folks. I feel dirty touching this. But yeah, I've had far worse. I've had far worse delivered. He didn't look too bad on the outside, but yeah. He was harbouring a filthy secret. But this is definitely, I can see pneumatic branding on this motor, so I would say that this is the original motor. I might be able to fix this motor up. I'm not sure how easy these are to take apart. I've never actually taken apart a pneumatic motor. Most of the pneumatic cleaners I've shown you on the channel, most of them, not all, but most, have been purchased brand new, so there's no need to take them apart and look at the motors. But certainly with older machines, if you want them to be running smoothly. So yes, that isn't, right, hang on, I've just realised this bit comes off, or does it? It should. Might have to loosen some wires. Now we can see the colour of that wire now. That's the blue neutral. He is unplugged, isn't he? Yes. I think I'd have known about it by now if I hadn't. Never attempt any work on an electrical appliance, folks, unless you're sure of what you're doing. I'm not sure of what I'm doing, but certainly not with his ears come out, don't they? I don't know why I'm wiping it, because it's all got to be cleaned properly. Now his brush holders are sticking out a bit. Carbon brush holders. It could just be the fact that the fan blades are absolutely gunked up. Now I can disconnect him from here. Right, that blue wire. Now if I film it myself, I can see when I'm reassembling. One tip, I often take photos. If I'm taking a vacuum apart that I'm not very familiar with, I always take photos at each stage, so when it comes to reassembly, I can refer back. If I get stuck, I can refer back to the photo. And I shouldn't have to disconnect that totally yet anyway, but there's just one wire going to the switch, neutral wire. In fact, that's quite simple. There's this brown sheathed wire is going to the switch, like so, and that was on the top, and underneath is the blue neutral, so I should be able to pull that off. And again, this is all going to be cleaned properly, but just for now, well, I've got this wipe to hand, might as well use it. Bit more access now to the motor. So this will be good for me to see if there's any part numbers on this motor, because as I say, if I replace it, I do want to replace it as much as I can like for like. That's the motor out. Yeah, you can see now. Right, you can look. That's probably why he's not sounding so healthy. Yeah. Because often a noisy motor that vibrates a lot might just be a case of the fan blades have got gunked up with stuff, and it makes the motor not balanced anymore, which will cause that sort of deep hum at the end when it was switched off. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do much. I'll just get me SIBO Felix. Something went up the hose of the Felix, and I'm not sure if it's something I should have sucked up. Hopefully not. I'll have to check back my footage. If it's a little plastic piece, it should be there. Then that very full SIBO Felix bag is going to have to be split open, and I'm going to have to delve into that. Right, I'm just going to reassemble the cleaner as it is. But we'll just, you know, just can't sort of reassemble it filthy. But all this will be washed properly. Just removing some of that gunk from the motor might have improved things, to be honest. But I expect there's some more dirt in there that I can't access without taking the motor apart. And I'm not sure, having never taken a pneumatic motor apart, get rid of some of this dust. There's still some bits. Yeah, I really don't know how that happens, apart from misuse. If you had a Henry, and you always use Henry with a genuine HEPA flow bag, make sure the filter's always in place, and you replace the bag, you know, on a regular basis. You don't pick up anything you shouldn't pick up with a Henry. I can't see how we can get large bits of muck around the fan blades. So it's always, on the whole, what causes a vacuum to fail is misuse. Not always, of course. Some vacuums are designed to fail. They don't last long. But at least, you know, this is an older machine, but I can get this working properly. I can buy all tools for it. I could get a whole new motor if I want to. A new bucket. So I've got a little something or other printed there. I think that's the part number for carbon brushes. So that's something that might need to be replaced on a heavily used vacuum. And then that's my reference. I'll check on this. There's some numbers here. That could be the part number for the motor. Right, so that'll do. As this is not, you know, I'm not doing a full refurb. I'm just having a quick look. I thought it'd be interesting because I've never done it. I've never had the motors out. I think these are pretty simple to repair. But yeah, the rust, isn't a good sign either. But the motor doesn't sound too bad. There's still, I think I've got the worst off, but we'll see. We'll see what happens when I switch Basil back on. Right. So we'll pop him back together, turn him on again. He might sound a little bit better, but as you can see, he does need a proper clean up. Right, those cables go through there, don't they? And then we need to line up the holes. Is that it? Yes, that's fine. Fine and dandy. Do we need to put these back in first? The retainers, the bucket clips. I think we'll slot those in before we do anything else. Yeah, there's so much muck in this, but at least when I switch him back on, I think we've got rid of the worst of the clouds of dust that's going to come out. But he'll be popped away until I can get round to fixing him properly. Right, so if we reconnect the motor to the switch, it was blue, neutral wire at the bottom terminal, and then this brown sheathed wire, I think that goes in that slot there. That was on the top. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, my hand's in the way perhaps, but there we go. And we'll slot those into the slots. That's it. And that goes in there. Right. Oh, I just keep seeing dust. I just can't do it yet. Right, so next thing to do is insert those 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Do those up. And then we just, obviously, we reverse the procedure for taking the cleaner apart. Just take your time. This is something most people should be able to do, I would say. Certainly with a Henry, they are pretty, or in this case Basil, they are pretty simple machines. Just give a very brief wipe over in here, just to get the worst. I might have to get the SIBO. There we are. This is just getting the worst off. To get everything clean, this will have to go in a bath or a big sink. Submerge it. Bit of washing up liquid. A little brush to make sure all the nooks and crannies are cleaned of all the fine dust. And then once everything's cleaned inside and reassembled, then it's a case of doing the old T-cut and polish on the outside of the machine to make him look as good as he can. And also I've had quite a lot of requests, or some demands actually. The latest one I saw yesterday was, I think it was on my Facebook page. Yes, I'm on Facebook and Instagram if you want to follow me on those social media platforms. I got told you should get the Henry Pet XL. So there is a new version of the Henry Pet, but in a bigger tub with lots of tools. And yes, I do plan at some point to get that model, but I'm waiting for an offer, because there will be an offer if Numatic or myhenry.com don't do an offer themselves. Normally, because they're on eBay as well, you can get 15 or sometimes 20, but it's normally 15% off. So if I can get 15% off the new Pet XL version, then I'll buy it for that price. It's £200 at the moment. But with 15% off, I can get it another £30 off that. So, yes. So I will be showing you one of those, probably. But it's not much different to, you know, my Henry XL that I've shown on my channel. It's just, it's got a different filter. It's got the odor absorbing filter and some different tools. But, you know, the machine itself is more or less the same. Dirty. Right. Now, before I assemble anything else, let me just have a look. Oh, there's this part here. Did this come off first? I mean, it wasn't long ago, but I've already forgotten. That's the, you know, when you get older, folks, you forget things. You're always popping upstairs to get something, and as soon as you get upstairs, you think, what have I come up here for? And you rack your brains, and you think, I'm not sure. And then you have to go back downstairs to the room you were in, and try and find some clue as to why you went upstairs. It'll happen to you, folks. If it doesn't happen to you already, it's coming. You'll see. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether that went on first. No, I don't think it did it? No. You're all shouting, yes it did, you're stupid, you know nothing. Yeah, well, I'm not an expert. I've never pretended to be an expert. I'm just someone who over consumes vacuum cleaners, that's all, because I'm a nutcase and I just like vacuum cleaners. So I've certainly owned more vacuum cleaners than the majority of people. Some of you watching probably have owned more than I have, but especially if you're still watching. But the majority of people do not buy as many vacuums or use as many vacuums as I have in my years on this earth. Right, that'll do for now. Let me just locate the motor cover. Make sure, yes, that's on. So, yes, then that goes down, I think. Let's make sure that slides in properly. There we go. Is that in? I think that's in. Insert the two screws. So yes, if you just want to change the cord, it's just a case of removing this cover. You don't have to remove anything else. In fact, before I put the filter cover back on, I think I should do up the motor screws. And don't over tighten them, and never do them up all, never do one up fully and then go to the others. What I tend to do, and this was something my dad taught me years ago when I had to help him out with stuff. I was the youngest child and my brothers were all out smoking and drinking and having fun, and I was left, and I had to be the one that held the torch for my dad, fetched him stuff from the shed. But I did pick up a lot of hints from my dad, so it wasn't wasted. I'd hated it at the time, having to do all this stuff, but bless him, my dad taught me a lot. Best way of learning from your dad, really, folks. And I still remember everything he taught me, even though, as I said at the time, I didn't want to hear it. So listen, folks, if you're lucky enough to still have your parents, both parents, listen to them. They can often impart wisdom you'll never get from anywhere else, because they've lived through it. I've dirtied up my carpet, never mind. I'm hoping I've done everything correctly. I'll certainly get comments under this video if I've done something wrong. But I've got one screw left and one part to put back on, so I think, fingers crossed, when we plug Basil back in, he will work and will sound a little bit better. Right, is that in? Yes, I think that's in. Yes, All seems to click in place. Never start screwing anything up unless you're sure that the part... Oh, I don't want it... Well, I was using that other screwdriver again, but doesn't matter. Right. I think now he might sound a little bit better, but I'm not banking on him sounding hugely better. But I don't think now that he's had a bit of a clean up, he's going to spew out any more dirt, because I've cleaned it up fair, you know, I've done a reasonable job in the time, but not, you know, not a full refurb, is it? Just a quick wipe over. So let's hope that everything has been connected up properly and I've not made things worse. I don't think I could have made things worse. I'm still going to turn Basil on from the switch and switch him on at the wall socket, plug him back in. He's still got that deep growl, hasn't he, towards the end? But I think he does sound a bit better. He doesn't smell as bad. And he didn't give out any more muck. So that is what you can do in a few minutes. Well, you know, it doesn't take long. But clearly, it's not perfect. I still need to look at Basil a bit closer, see if I can improve some of the lighter scratches on his hat. But all in all, it's not a bad gift from the Easter Bunny, I think. Not bad at all. But yeah, he does still need work. And there's no way I'll be able to get an original toolkit for Basil, but I might be able to find the correct floor nozzle. Certainly not the nozzle you can buy now. I think Basil would have definitely come with a metal base plate nozzle, similar to the one you get with, you can still get, I think, with George and Charles. And I can still get an aluminium set of wands and curved handle to make Basil a little bit more authentic. There were several Basils, I believe, and I think this possibly is a later Basil. I've seen a Basil with a fixed handle as well. So I think Basil with the folding handle is possibly a later version, but at least he is a Basil. As I said, I'm not sure if the base is original to the top, but all in all, not too bad. Fairly pleased with him. I hope you found this video interesting. Still got a bit of a cold, so having to pause the camera to cough up some mucus, but you didn't want to know that, did you? So yes, they say he might be missing. I've seen clips. I think, looking at him now, I think that there would be a clip on that, I think, to hang the cable. But I will do a bit more research. But there we go, that's Basil. Yet another pneumatic cleaner in my collection. An old one, but yeah, he still works. But like I say, I'll either try and take that motor apart and clean the fan blades more and, you know, do whatever, or see if I can get a genuine compatible motor. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all very soon for another video. So don't forget to thumb up and subscribe and click the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which at the moment is normally on a Monday and a Friday every week. So until Friday, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.